Have you ever driven by a truck and seen one or even two of the truck's axles floating above the road and wondered why it's hanging up there? And why not all the wheels touch the ground? Then don't worry. In this video, we'll explain to you why some trucks' tires don't always touch the ground, but also teach you a little about how truck axles work, the types of truck axles, and how they affect the trucks. Let's start with explanation of the axles. An axle is a rod or shaft that connects two wheels and supports the weight of the vehicle. Axles are essential components of any vehicle, including trucks. Axles are connected to the wheels by bearings. When the engine turns the transmission turns the drive shaft, which turns the differential, which turns the axles. The axles then turn the wheels, propelling the vehicle forward. There are two main types of truck axles. Steering axles are located at the front of the truck and allow the driver to steer the vehicle, or in the back to create shorter turning radius. Drive axles are located at the rear of the truck and provide power to the wheels, or in the front in case of an all-wheel drive. In addition to steering axles and drive axles, there are also two other types of axles that can be found on some trucks. Tag axles are located at the very rear of the truck and provide additional support for heavy loads, and also called boogie axles in some places. And then there are lift axles, which are often located between the drive axles and can be raised or lowered to improve fuel efficiency or traction. And it's exactly this axle you have seen, floating as it can be lifted from the ground. But what's the point of driving with an axle that's not on the ground? Well, actually, there are multiple reasons for it, but let's start with better grip and traction. Lift axles can be lowered when the truck is fully loaded, distributing the weight more evenly among the axles. This increased weight on the tires enhances traction and grip, especially in adverse weather conditions like rain, snow, or ice. As an example, Volvo have a tandem axle lift function to really improve grip when needed. Ground pressure. When a truck is fully loaded, it can exert significant pressure on the road surface, potentially causing damage or sinking into softer terrain. By lowering the axle and distributing the weight over several axles, the overall weight is distributed more evenly, reducing the ground pressure and minimizing road wear and tear. Load adjustments. Lift axles allow truck drivers to adjust the weight distribution of the cargo. This is particularly important for complying with weight regulations, as different jurisdictions have specific limits on axle weights. By raising or lowering the lift axles, the driver can ensure that the load is evenly distributed within legal limits. Fuel efficiency. Running additional axles on a truck consumes more fuel due to increased rolling resistance. By lifting the axles when not needed, such as when the truck is empty or carrying a light load, you can improve fuel efficiency. This reduces operating costs and minimizes environmental impact. Legal regulations. Lift axles play a crucial role in complying with weight regulations imposed by local authorities. Overloaded vehicles can incur fines, and lifting or lowering axles allows drivers to adjust their truck's configuration to remain within legal weight limits. Maintenance and costs. Lift axles, like any other component, experience wear and tear over time. However, by raising them when not in use, you reduce the mileage and stress on these axles, extending their lifespan. This leads to lower maintenance costs and less frequent repairs. In addition, the tires also wear less when the axle is lifted, and they do not roll along. Safety. When a truck is fully loaded, the additional axles provide more braking power because they have more tires making contact with the road surface. This means that the truck can stop more effectively and efficiently, reducing the risk of accidents caused by inadequate braking. Lift axles, when lowered, increase the stability of the truck, especially when navigating corners or during sudden maneuvers. The additional tires help distribute the weight evenly and provide better grip, reducing the likelihood of rollovers or loss of control. How liftable axles work. Liftable axles are usually connected to the truck's air suspension system. and can be controlled by a switch in the truck cab. When the switch is activated, air is pumped into the airbags, which raises the axle. When the switch is deactivated, the air is released from the airbags, which lowers the axle. The axle is raised when the truck is empty or carrying a light load. This improves fuel efficiency by reducing the amount of friction between the tires and the road. The axle is lowered when the truck is carrying a full load. This improves stability and handling by increasing the weight distribution of the vehicle. Liftable truck axles are commonly used on long-haul trucks, dump trucks, and construction vehicles. So, to answer the title of the video's question, why do some truck tires not touch the ground? It's because some trucks have liftable axles which make it possible to lift an axle when it is not needed, because the truck is driving empty or with a low weight. This makes it more fuel efficient, wears less on the tire, and when the truck has to drive with a heavier weight, the axles can be lowered and thereby legally haul a higher total weight, and still comply with current regulations, get better road grip, and increase safety. An extra liftable axle can therefore be a versatile help for a truck that drives with varying loads. This was all for today. Hope you enjoyed, and remember to subscribe to the channel for much more trucking content.